So tier 1 is all about needing to know your audience. Now, you guys know your audience and you know it well, okay? Your audience is going to be different from the audience in Manchester, or the audience in Keene, or the audience in Campton, or the audience in wherever you are, or the audience in Los Angeles. And that's a good thing. So one of the mistakes that we don't want to make is to buy into a systematic approach that we think it's a one-size-fits-all. And we all know that that's been some of what's been given us in the past. But we don't want to say, well, Polly, I can't throw away all my curriculums. Of course not. But you want to be aware that when you're talking about building tier 1 capacity, that you are very aware of your audience and what their needs are at any given time. And that's going to kind of expand what we do. One of the problems that we've had is that we've said, oh my gosh, we have high needs kids, high needs kids, high needs families. And so we answer that by building tier 2 and tier 3 capacity, which is actually upside down. If you have a high population that's high needs in any area, that has to become part of tier 1. Not, we need to get more counselors, more this, more that, because we need to build extra services. What we really need to do is expand our services at tier 1, take those professionals in that type of line of work, that's what they do, and instead of taking our kids and scheduling them to go see them for hour blocks at a time, which some need that, okay, but maybe we need those professionals to come in and help us expand that capacity with a larger audience. And that's what building tier 1's all about. Most people look at an RTI or a multi-tier system of supports this way, with this triangle thing, and you usually have a line here, and it's 1, 2, 3. Let's start thinking about it this way. Let's start thinking about, what if it looked more like this? This being your tier 1, where everything happens. This being your 2, this being your 3. So that you have a more capacity to manage more kids here. So that when you have to bump it up the ladder, all right, you're not overwhelmed. And you can efficiently give those kids the extra layer of what they need. Here's another way to look at it. This came out of the brilliance of a bunch of folks in Merrimack, New Hampshire, who published a paper called the Bling Model. The diamond, get it? I didn't get it either, they had to tell me. But it was brilliant because, and this was years ago, they put this together, so a little before their time when they did that. But they did it this way. They said, well, what if we even thought about this? What if we made it the Bling model so that your tier 1 is here for all kids, and maybe you have your tier 2 for kids who need that extra layer, tier 3 who need a lot of help. But what about the kids over here who don't need a lot of help? They're all intact. The kids we always kind of forget because they're not like wearing us down. So these kids are excelling. Their families are intact. Everything is going well for them. And they're just often just doing their thing, and they're working real hard, and they're really doing well. So maybe we look at the other side and say, well, let's see, what are we going to do for these kids? Is this where student council comes in? Is this where planning of the garden out back comes in? Where do these kids fit in? Where do they get their extra needs met? Because they're doing everything they're supposed to do. And we often just don't recognize that. And the same thing here. You got some kids who are really excelling. They're behaving well. They never get into trouble. They do what they're supposed to do. So there's things for them, too. There are bulletin board designers. There are our bathroom door painters that are designing themes. Those are our kids that we get them. We have to offer something for them, too. So it really is a brilliant model if you think about it on both ways.